That is brutal.
That is really funny right there. You can hardly hear Rick Adelman.
It's unsportsmanlike. It's unsportsmanlike.
Craig Sager, what do you have?
Well, I think somebody agreed with Coach Thompson. Unsportsmanlike was the call. The boisterous, demonstrative Maverick fan that we saw holding up the sign in front of Vlade Divac and ringing the bell in his ear has been warned. Told officially that he has crossed the line, that he must stay in his seat or else in front of the seat. He can no longer go in front of the bench or he will be ejected.
Well, and you can do damage to someone's eardrums in doing that. Now, suppose the player gets irritated and actually responds to that. It's a little too much.
Speaking of Vlade Divac, he is back in the game after that timeout. Here's Weber. Off to Christie. The Kings are shooting 68%. Christie had it. A little bit of movement inside. And a violation called on Christie. That's the first on him.
And right here, it's always tough to posting up a littler guy when you're trying to back him in and gain ground. You know, you got to sometimes turn and shoot over the guy.
Nash is a better actor than Pollard was down at the other end. That's all that was. And the referee took sympathy for the little guy.
Here come the Mavericks who have never led, shooting 44% from the field. Michael Finley over Turkoglu. A Christie rebound. That's the fourth for him tonight.
Doesn't seem to have his rhythm on his jumper, Danny. Finley was penetrating very well, but that shot didn't look good.
Jackson over Van Exel. Chased and retrieved by Nash. Out of the box and off to the races and back to Finley working on Turkoglu with a series of fakes and twists and finally launches. Rafe LaFrance taps it in.
See, Vlade's got to start playing harder.
Absolutely.
You know, that wasn't happening when Pollard was in the game. That's ridiculous to give up points like that. If he's worried about foul trouble, wait till the second half to play.
It's Chris Webber answering at the other end. He's got 13 points. He is 6 of 10 from the floor.
And I like Chris Webber's game tonight. You know, we always talk about his outside shots and all that kind of stuff, but he's active. He's going to the post sometimes. He's shooting on the outside, and he's playing good all-around basketball.
Nowitzki slips. They call the jump ball. Rebounding tonight, Mavericks are +2.
Well, and this is just a perfect example of what Danny was talking about. He goes up and takes a fadeaway jump shot. Vlade jumps up, and LaFrance just comes around. And rather than go for the ball, you're too close under the basket. Go in and attack the offensive man and keep him off of the glass, and then look for the ball.
Turkoglu checks out. Stojakovic checks back in the game.
Stojakovic has had a good rest. He's had a very ineffective offensive game right now, but earlier in the game, he was doing a nice job of defending Nowitzki.
Stojakovic scored 26 in game 1, 14 in game 2. Nowitzki bats it back to Nash. Shot clock at 12, 7.5 to play in the first half. Game 3, Dallas. Nash is 1 of 7. And finds a 3. Steve Nash is put in 5. And Christie is down, and a timeout taken by Rick Adelman.
3 people on the weak side to take the first pass. He's one of the best in the league at doing that.
Bobby Jackson is in. Full court pressure by Dallas for the first time in a couple games. Approaching 7 to play. We are in the second quarter. Weber drew the foul from Nowitzki. The shot won't go, and a foul called on Nowitzki, who picks up his second foul. And he, along with LaFrance, have 2. And a couple players with 2 for Sacramento, Divac and Pollard.
And they got to keep going at those guys on the post right now.
And Don Nelson is doing a great job, I think, of mixing his defense to try to throw the pace of the Kings off. He went 2 times 3 possession zone to throw their rhythm off, and then he went full court man.
Divac squeezes one up, and he's got 6. 2 of 2 from the field for Vlade.
And when Dallas gets on these kind of rolls, that's when you have to slow the game down. You got to make sure you get the ball inside, make sure they don't get these 6- and 8-point runs.
Dallas is trailed by as many as 15, down by 8. Nowitzki tried to drop it inside for LaFrance, picked up by Stojakovic. Ahead it goes to Bibby. Baseline, Jackson, down the middle it goes.
Good patience and poise right there by Bibby. But again, Dirk Nowitzki has shown us throughout this series he needs to really work on his passing. Not a good passer at all.
Finley, 5 of 9, down the lane, and scoops it home.
Well, and he shows a lot of strength, too. At the end of his dribble, he definitely gets a lot of lift.
Bibby was flying, and he took off, and they were trying to get him in his wake, and Finley was reaching in and draws his first foul.
Well, that's really bad weak side help right there. You can't leave Mike Bibby on an island defending Michael Finley in the post.
Naharad comes in for Nowitzki.
Well, and one of the things I love about Nash, too, is a lot like Jason Kidd, and if you score, he'll push the ball down the court so fast that you better stay alert and get ready to go back on defense mentally as well as physically.
It's Bobby Jackson with the miss. Here comes Dallas with the LaFrance rebound. And Nash into Jackson. No word yet on Christie. Injured and in the locker room. LaFrance for three. Tapped and won by the Kings, and Weber's got it. Triggering it off to Bibby. 13 points, 5 of 7. Sacramento is at 1-3. Here's one by Stojakovic. Only his second shot, and it's a miss. Down court for Finley. What a pass!
And that play was made by Nash again, putting pressure on the defense. Not only do you have to score, but you better get back and be alert in getting back.
But they're falling right into Dallas's hands. They just get the ball into Vlade, and he gets a lay-in. Stojakovic and Jackson take 2 shots ill-advised.
Here they come the other way. Dallas has never led, down by 6. Van Exel spinning on Jackson into Divac.
Dallas is picking them apart with their primary and secondary break. And Kings are not getting back, not finding people, and not being mentally ready when they do get back.
Mike Bibby outside. Jackson picked up by Nash. Bibby for 3. Good! Mike Bibby puts it down.
Well, Mike Bibby's been huge, but that's 5 consecutive possessions after Vlade's lay-in that he has not, him or Weber, have not touched the ball in the paint. And that is playing into the hands of Dallas.
Finley's got 18 for Dallas. Bibby's got 16 for Sacramento. The one-time Kings lead of 15 is now wiped away. It's a 7-point game, and a foul called on Mike Bibby inside, trying to work in the paint on Bibby.
Well, right here, Stojakovic hasn't got a lot of shots, and so he's frustrated. He wants to contribute. He's a scorer. He takes off Bibby. Finley's going to beat him down the court as he missed that shot. Just that delay. But what's Chris Webber doing back there? He should have been back on defense. If he's not going to go to the offensive rebound, he's got to guard the basket.
After the timeout, Van Exel with the miss, picked up by Weber. Out there with Divac, Bibby, Jackson, and Stojakovic. Dallas with Nahara, LaFrance, Nash, Finley, and Van Exel. It's Nahara on Weber.
And with Doug Christie injured, oh my goodness, what a pass.
And a miss by Divac. Dallas the other way, shooting 47.5%.
I still think the pace of this game gets to Vlade. You know, he was there that time, didn't get any lift at all, and a point-blank layup and couldn't put it in.
It's LaFrance. Nahara fighting for the loose. Sacramento is led by 15. Dallas has never led. And with the ball, Dallas shooting 46%. Van Exel, he's got 2. They go inside to Nahara.
A lot without Christie in the game. Jackson and Bibby might not be able to come out a lot. Turkoglu has played some guard position for him, even some point guard. They may need him tonight.
Great feed. Bibby on the alley-oop for Weber, and Weber's got 17 points.
That ball had to be delivered right on the numbers at the right time in order to be effective. That was perfect execution by Bibby and Weber.
Screen by Finley. The switch on defense. Stojakovic picks up Nash. Shot clock at 9. Wiggling his way inside with the foul.
Well, Bibby's not really pressured by Steve. Steve looking for a screen, but perfect timing from way out above the 3-point line. Bibby's a little bit too far to make the pass, but because the timing is perfect and the delivery is perfect.
It's Weber with the lob, double team, count it, and a foul. And that Weber squeezes one out.
And that was a beautiful pass right there by Stojakovic over the top. But right now, Finley, they're just milking him. Right here, they know he can go by Turkoglu. He's much quicker. Just beats him off the dribble. Where's the help? Well, you say the help is not there, but they got so many 3-point shooters, they have to cover up. And right there, they just throw the ball up. Weak side help get there, but they're little guys. Dominate those little guys in the paint.
The foul.
And that's exactly what Chris is doing. He's dominating.
Finley just picked up his 3rd personal foul, so that now becomes a story. The only player on the Mavericks with 3. And a lane violation has been called. You don't see that very often, do you, Dan?
No, but when a guy shoots an air ball the time before, everybody's a little anxious for that rebound.
1:20 to play. Ernie Johnson and crew standing by in Atlanta. With halftime and a complete wrap-up on the New Jersey loss at Charlotte tonight. Nowitzki, Turkoglu's on it. Bibby now clamps his way on Nash. Nash with a spin and the fadeaway. Steve Nash has scored well, now with 9 in the first half. It's Bibby over Nash at the other end. Nowitzki is back in. That ball ricochets out of bounds. Dallas will inbound. 52 seconds in the first half.
And I thought that was the first bad shot that Bibby took. Maybe a little bit because Nash posted him up, shot the fadeaway. He wanted to get him back at the other end. But we got to, Sacramento, they've got to find a way to get the ball into the post and then come back outside.
Well, and patience was the thing that helped them early in the ball game. The bad thing about playing Dallas is you get caught a little bit up in their music.
Nowitzki! Dirk Nowitzki's got 6. And Dallas trails by 3. A half minute to play in the first half. Turkoglu. Oh, and a clutch shot.
And this is exactly like game 1 where they shot 63% in the first half. Game 2, and right now they're shooting over 60% again, and they're only up by 5 with a chance to only be up by 2 or 3 to end the half.
Dallas is shooting 49%. Sacramento, as you see, 61%. It's Nowitzki in a 5-point. Oh, and Jackson throws a punch. And he's been ejected. He's gone. Bob Delaney looked like he tossed him.
One referee tossed him, Kevin. The other one called a tech.
Well, you got to be careful right here. You can't be motioning guys to get out of the game unless you saw the whole thing.
Well, he's got a technical foul. We do know that. But will they uphold the ejection? And that is what our veteran crew is discussing now. Danny, can they take away an ejection?
Sure. They're conferencing right now. They can take away anything because, you got to be careful if you're an official just coming in at the last second, not seeing the whole thing.
Now, what makes this so crucial is Doug Christie is in the locker room with a badly sprained ankle. If Jackson is tossed, a depleted Sacramento Kings lineup, a technical has been called.
Well, and if he's ejected, that's another speed person against a speed team, and that definitely hurts the Kings if they put him out.
And a technical foul, number 24.
Right here, Bobby Jackson just battling. Nowitzki posting him up. They're just going at each other. Right here, the ball gets knocked loose. But they fouled it. Oh, he didn't punch him. He just slapped him on the arm.
Nowitzki hit him with an elbow first, though. He swung an elbow back at him.
Well, not first. He did a second. But
he hit him first.
But watch.
The big guy hit him first. He swings an elbow back, and Jackson retaliated.
That's it right there.
Absolutely. You're right.
John.
You were right one time.
I wear glasses, but I can see.
I know, and you're not sticking up for the big man.
No, I'm not, because he didn't do it. But still, I agree with Danny. I think you straighten that out. I like what the officials did here. Rather than just eject the guy, they got together, they talked about it, and left the player in the game.
Right, you see Bob Delaney, the official, he throws the ejection sign. He's got his back turned right there, and he sees that. He sees him slap his arm and throws him out. But the other officials came in, calmed it down, and they got the thing right, although they did miss the first elbow by Nowitzki.
And as you know, Dan, it's always the second man that the official sees. When you react to something that happens to you, it always is that guy that's being thrown out. And as you guys indicated, they can't lose Jackson now because they lose another speed person.
No fouls to give either way. Final seconds of the first half. A 2-point game. Bibby against Nash. Turkoglu with the whistle. And he steps out of bounds. So now 7.5 seconds remain, and the Mavericks can tie or take a lead with a 3. Nash. Long for the tie.
Stojakovic needs to get going too.
John, Michael Finley was terrific.
Well, one of the things they have to do is to stop Finley because he's getting in the paint on the Kings and doing a lot of scoring. The smart thing, I think, he's not forcing his jumper. He's using the other aspects of his game, his strength, his jumping ability to get in the lane.
The Dallas Mavericks scored 41 points in the second quarter, their highest scoring second quarter in their franchise playoff history. So here we go. The Sacramento Kings who led at one time by 15 points. Bibby, Divac, Weber, Jackson out there. And Weber with Stojakovic, the fifth king, and a short shot and out of bounds. And Sacramento gets it back. Well, Dallas with Nowitzki, Nash, LaFrance, Van Exel, and Michael Finley.
They got 4 point guards out there on the court. Without Doug Christie playing, game 2, Nelly could not let Nick Van Exel sit for the third quarter after what happened in the first quarter. And again tonight, when Nick Van Exel came in, they started making a run.
Christie better be real careful. He flopped on that last shot. Good, he went out of bounds, because when he does that, Nowitzki leaks out and goes down court, and Christie's a back man. The only guy who has been able to stop him.
Divac comes up short on the first one, converts on the second. He's got 8 points. The Kings are shooting 58%. The Mavericks shooting 50% from the field.
Yeah, and I'm glad Vlade made that basket. He's been struggling a little bit offensively, and he needs to really step up and have a good game for him, and that maybe will get him going.
Nowitzki blocked by Weber. Vacuumed in by Divac. A 2-on-2 with the lead pass to Stojakovic, who outraces Nowitzki to the hole.
Well, and LaFrance caused that because he was a back man who went in to steal the ball that had already been in the possession of the Kings. As a result of it, they didn't have anybody back.
And outside, Nick Van Exel nails a 3. Dallas has hit 4 threes tonight.
And that's his first of the series right there by Nick Van Exel. 0 for 8 until he made that shot.
Weber tries by Nowitzki. LaFrance knocks it away. Divac inside and a foul. Even at 22.
Well, I think that's been the case all year. I think Nick Van Exel, Michael Finley, and Steve Nash are by far their best post-up players.
It's Bibby picked up by Nash. Nowitzki and Weber are jousting. Shot clock at 8. Weber with a dance on Nowitzki, a double by Nash. That means Bibby is left free and nails a 3-point shot.
Well, and that's the advantage of a guy like Chris Weber, though, because when you come to help, he's very capable of punishing you, and Vlade is the same way. That's why both of them should be attacking the basket, forcing help more, or scoring if the help does not come.
Bibby's got 19. Weber's got 19. Dirk Nowitzki, who's at an off night shooting tonight, 3 of 10.
And this is, I'm sorry, Kevin, this is the matchup that Nelly wanted all along. He wanted Weber or Divac guarding Nowitzki. Now he's got it.
It's Stojakovic launching the 3. Nowitzki with the rebound.
Early, the Kings were getting their baskets off of passes and movements. Now they're doing one-on-one movements.
Van Exel missing the 3. Divac clears it out. Bibby the other way. Stojakovic slashing inside, scooping it up, and Weber is there to tap it in. And Chris Weber now has 21 points for the game.
And great play by Weber right there, controlling the board, double tapping it right there. But Stojakovic, good aggressive move going to the hole, like his counterpart Michael Finley. The 3-point shot before that, I thought, was totally ill-advised. They have dominance inside, keep attacking the basket, no inside presence to Dallas.
It's Finley across the lane, fouled Stojakovic and Divac. And it was Stojakovic who picks up his second of the half and 3rd for the game.
Well, right here, avoiding the charge does a good job, and Weber comes from the weak side because 3 people went to Stojakovic.
What about this matchup here, John? Weber against Nowitzki.
Well, I like it. I like it particularly for Nowitzki because he's a jump shooter and goes outside. Weber basically defensively plays a guy with his back to the basket, but Chris is mobile enough to play him. The thing that he's got to be very careful of is not going out there and lightly. He's got to guard him. In the middle, I think Chris can take Nowitzki anytime he wants to under the basket if he takes him aggressively.
Let's compare them. Weber 21 points and 9 rebounds. Nowitzki on the bench, 8 points and 3 rebounds.
And they've done a good job. You can tell the focus of Sacramento's defense is to slow down Nowitzki, and they've done an excellent job in this series, shooting a very poor percentage.
I tell you, excuse me, Kevin, one of the things that I'm noticing, both Vlade and Weber seem to be struggling a little bit in transition. I'm just wondering about the pace of this game and the effect that it has on their bigger guys.
Bibby keeps his balance, shoved on the play, and a foul.
I think they struggle in transition every night. And this kind of a pace, you're right, Coach. I mean, running this kind of a tempo, I don't think it's so much fatigue. They're just not used to it. Nobody plays at this pace in the league.
Well, they're used to running against other teams, Danny, but they're not probably as much used to a counter break, a guy coming back running on them. That's what's happening now.
Nash picked up his 3rd foul, launching it 3 at the other end. Over the backboard and out of bounds.
Nahara should get 2 points for a takedown right there on Weber in the lane.
Let's send it over to Craig Sager.
Sacramento will play the rest of the way without their defensive specialist, Doug Christie. Went out in the second quarter, had a sprained ankle, tried to ice it and walk around during halftime. It would not go. He was through for the evening.
A steal by Nash. Thank you, Craig. Here comes Nash. Wet in the fingertips once again. Feeding to LaFrance. Nash set it up. LaFrance finishes it off. 10 points for LaFrance. And the Mavericks a point away from coming back to tie it for a 4th time in this game.
Well, you see the turnover. Look where Rafe LaFrance is, all the way back there. Chris Webber's at the same spot. LaFrance, he's got no conscience. He's going to keep going. He knows the shot clock is down. And like I've always said, sometimes those shot clock down shots, there's nothing to think about whether it's a good shot or not.
Almost up another 3-point there because he is fouled shooting a 3-point shot. Sean Bradley is checked in for the Mavericks in the final 26 seconds of this 3rd quarter. Nowitzki again. He's got 14. There's a second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Winding down the 3rd quarter. Van Exel is on Bibby. Jackson open for 3. Turkoglu the rebound, took it away from Nowitzki. And a Dallas foul called in the congested lane. Nowitzki picks it up. He's got 3. 91, here comes Van Exel losing the ball. Finley picks it up, trying to beat the buzzer. And we end the 3rd, tied at 91. From the field for the game, Nowitzki against Turkoglu. Divac inhales the rebound. He now has 8 rebounds and 15 points.
Inhaled the camera without jumping off the floor. Put his body on the man, reached up and took the rebound.
Under 9 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. Mike Bibby tumbles down. The foul has been called on Dallas. It's on Nowitzki for the 4th time.
Well, let's see if this is a play right here. But Vlade is right in front of the rim. I couldn't tell if his hand went on this side of the rim or that side of the rim. But either way, he's right in front of the rim. And that ball should have been a goaltend.
Can Vlade jump above the rim?
I don't know. Vlade's doing okay right now.
Weber from outside. And a rebound by Divac. A drive by Weber with a crafty pass put in his hands by the veteran Vlade Divac.
Leave no doubt, that's what he can do. He really can pass the basketball, and he's using his head on offense and playing and really taking some of those younger guys to school out there.
The Kings are +7 in rebounding tonight. And LaFrance with the shot clock showing 8. Whipped it to Finley. It's thrown away. And an over and back. And a turnover for the Dallas Mavericks. That is only their 8th of the game. 11 for the Kings.
Well, the difference, Vlade made a good pass made a good play that goes unnoticed there. He put pressure on the pass. And as a result of it, LaFrance threw the ball away.
It'll be interesting to see how much Vlade has left in his tank. With 8 minutes to go in this game.
I'm going to close my eyes because I think I know.
Well, he's a Yugo. Now that means he can go for a long distance and keep chugging away. Outside, it's Weber bumping into Nowitzki.
They're standing too much. We talked about Vlade getting the ball in the post. They're just on one side. They need to move the ball and take advantage of their size on the inside. Get the ball moving side to side, get bodies moving.
And take advantage of their passing ability. That's how you can make a good pass if guys are moving and cutting.
Nowitzki with the drive and dumps it inside to Finley. LaFrance tried to grab it. Shot clock is at 7. Van Exel, good move by Christie. Swerves down the lane. And Vlade taps it off to Christie. Weber. Nice handoff as he spoon feeds Christie inside.
And that's another way to get it in the post. Push the ball in transition and get the post
That's
early.
also another way to get the medical report. We know he's well now.
But I sure like my best players talking when I'm the coach there in those huddles. And just some silly turnovers happening right now, both teams.
But see, both teams are absolutely correct. But the Kings will pay a higher price for it. They've got to control the ball, and they've got to capitalize. Particularly, they don't want to get this crowd in this ball game.
Inside to LaFrance. That was a spectacular pass. 5 for Dallas. The Mavericks shooting 44%. It's Van Exel. Over Christie. That's a 2 by Nick Van Exel.
It was a hell of a shot, too, because Christie backed off of him and got back and recovered. It was in his face on the shot.
Bibby with a little fake and a screen by Weber. Defense applied by Naharaj. Shot clock at 12, big clock at 5:14.
And Sacramento's got to move the ball again. They just stand trying to get the ball into the post. There's no movement. If they just make 1 or 2 passes and get bodies moving, they will be able to get the ball into the post.
Well, Vladdy was trying to get Christie to clear out the weak side so they could jump it into the post and could jump it into him. And you're absolutely right. What is happening, they're trying to get it in the post with no movement now.
Nash for 3. And it's a Weber rebound as he tussles with his own teammate. A lead pass for Bibby, but a lot of Mavericks back there on defense.
Where's the offensive pursuit? They got to get the ball right here. Bibby is their best option right now.
And Chris Weber. Rebound, Divac. And Weber puts it in. He's got 27 points.
And that's why Bibby's their best option. We keep talking about it as they give up an easy basket. That should never happen in this situation. That's just a mental breakdown. And you look at Sacramento, the last 3 possessions, they look exhausted. They're walking up the court. There's no movement. And they got to get the ball inside. But Mike Bibby right now is the best option because he created that open shot for Weber last time down the court.
Christie lost the ball, and here comes Finley, who is fouled by Doug Christie. That's the 4th on him. Only player in the game with 5 is LaFrance on the Dallas bench.
And look at Nowitzki over here on the corner. Bibby doesn't see him. That's the point guard's responsibility right there first. Bibby now sees him. He gets back, but he's not serious enough. He's got to make sure. Great pass right there by Nash. Good find. Bad defense.
Well, and the Kings have been vulnerable with that all ball game. In transition, they've been coming back and not identifying immediate danger. This is where it's very important. The Kings have to run their offense, move bodies, get the touches inside, and put pressure on Dallas.
Shooting, you see in this quarter, Weber just got his 15th rebound with 27 points. He gets a feed from Bibby. He's picked up by LaFrance. Nash with Bibby driving by him, launching it on the 5. Finley volleyballs it to Nash. And the Kings back on defense. Nash for 3. Good! Steve Nash! He's got 15.
And right now, when you're behind, you see Dallas, they just have nothing to lose. They just fire up the court and attack. Sacramento, they're walking it up, and we got 3 people standing with their hands on their knees on the weak side. They're walking it up, and we got 3 people standing with their hands on their knees on the weak side.
Bibby. It's Christie for 3.
And that's another reason why I like the ball in Mike Bibby's hands right there. Created beautiful penetration and knocked down a shot. And a big shot by Doug Christie. What a huge lift he's given him coming back in this game.
He's got 10 for the quarter and 16 Christie points for the game.
That's why he's back on the floor after getting injured.
Christie's got 5 fouls. Here's Van Exel driving by Divac, slithering down the lane. It's loose and out of bounds. Peja Stojakovic, as we've been telling you, out for the rest of this game with the bad ankle. They have needed him down the stretch. Their lead is 7.
Well, and most good defensive players like Christie has got a little craziness in him. You know, he comes out here and plays the way he plays. That's a lot of courage for a young man to do that and not try to depend on the injury.
Van Exel, Nash, Finley, LaFrance, and Nowitzki, the Dallas 5. And it's out of bounds. A bad pass by Van Exel, or a confused Steve Nash. I'm not sure which. No fouls to give, as you just saw. 4 Dallas turnovers in this quarter.
And that inbound pass is so crucial at this point of the game. His judgment, his delivery of the ball is very essential.
Bibby with 29. Finley's got a game-high 30 for Dallas.
And you can see now they're starting to trap Michael Bibby with his hot play so far, and that opens up for Vlade Divac. But again, ball movement. Come off the pick and roll, go to one side, swing it back, and then throw the ball into the post.
And Divac has 19 points and 12 rebounds, a double-double for him, as Finley takes it across the lane into Turkoglu with a Sacramento rebound and a 116-107 Kings lead with 2 minutes and 6 seconds remaining.
Kevin, and you know, coming out of timeouts, you know, Rick Adelman showing why he was runner-up Coach of the Year. Maybe should have got Coach of the Year. Congratulations to Rick Carlisle, by the way, an old teammate of mine. There was a bunch of guys that deserved it, but Adelman done an excellent job coming out of timeout.
Finley for 3. He's got 33 for the game.
Well, you got to be real careful here because you're just carrying a 6-point lead. And Dallas has a lot of great outside shooters. This possession is very important right here.
But there's no movement again. Hopefully they can get the ball into Weber.
It's Bibby. Shot clock at 4. Divac. He'll launch a 3 and miss horribly. A 24-second shot clock violation.
A completely wasted possession right there.
Well, that's what Adelman is telling him. He's calling for the movement.
He's throwing waiting.
Well, why stop now? Finley's been carrying him all night. He goes in right there. Vlade doesn't get much of, I mean, that's a good call right there. He forces the contact right there. That's why you have to guard him and why he gets the drive, because you have to honor him so deep on the floor.
And that's also a reason why if Vlade work on a foul, and he's got to stop him from making that basket and make him get only the possibility of the 2 on the line.
And Finley at the stripe. Rebound by Divac, collecting his 13th of the night. Each team is at 7 3-point hits. Here comes Sacramento. They're shooting 52% from the field.
And that was a huge miss right there.
Mike Bibby into Weber. Weber broke stride. Great pass.
This is Danny where point guards earn their money.
Oh, I'll tell you what, he's more than earned his money throughout the whole playoffs. He outplayed John Stockton in the series in Utah, and he's outplayed Steve Nash tonight.
So Bibby, who is at games of 11 points, 22 points in game 2. Bibby tonight, 29 points, 8 assists. And Chris Weber, 29 as well, with 15 rebounds, as Bobby Jackson to come back in, and Vlade Divac, who was a warrior tonight, John, with 19 and 13, takes a seat.
Well, and probably because this is a defensive possession right here. Divac has been doing a poor job of getting really out.
Ball knocked away, no call made. It's just out of bounds, and a good play by Chris Weber. 53 seconds in regulation, 15 seconds to shoot.
And a pretty good play by the Dallas Mavericks right there, taking advantage of that switch. Good feed, and Finley did the right thing, attacking the basket, trying to get the 3 in the open.
It's got to be up now because this game still is not over with the shooting ability of this Dallas team.
Pass for 3.
That look was too good. That was an example of what I was talking about. They're lucky he missed that.
And another great play by Nelly. I love watching these coaches work coming out of timeout. They've both done a masterful job, but Dallas has done a bad job of executing the plays.
It's Chris Weber. He's got 31.
And he's done it outside, so we can put a stop to all the inside all the time. I mean, he's done it outside, inside. He's done a little bit of everything. All played well tonight. The only guy that struggled was Peja with the injury, and Hito did not score much.
Nice pass by Van Exel into LaFrance. Here comes Christie galloping and feeding. Jackson, a foul called on Van Exel as he clobbers Christie at midcourt.
A lot of big contributions again, Sacramento. Excellent game right there. And, you know, Dallas, they just, you know, when you shoot so many outside shots, it looks beautiful when they all go in. And when they don't go in, it doesn't look so good. You know, why do you take so many outside shots? But, you know, against Minnesota and in game 2 in Sacramento, those shots were going.
Well, one of the guys behind us that had a cowbell yelled out to Bibby, "Talk to me, punk." Bibby looked at him and said, "We're going to the championship."
Tomorrow night, Pistons and Celtics, and then the Los Angeles Lakers against the San Antonio Spurs. Coverage beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern time on TNT. Another king went down. Peja Stojakovic willed himself back out on the floor and has been simply marvelous in this 4th quarter.
Give Vlade and Chris Weber their due. The big horses did go to work a little bit in there today.
Michael Finley has 37. Here comes Jackson, fouled by Nash. I mean, it's just a cavalcade of outstanding individual Sacramento performances. 31 for Weber with 15 rebounds. Vlade with 19 points and 13 rebounds. But it's hard, Danny, to deny that our player of the game, our Gatorade player of the game, is Doug Christie. The Kings, the #1 seed in the Western Conference, led by Divac and Weber and Mike Bibby and Doug Christie. The names go on and on.